everyone. Welcome. Thanks for coming. My name is Stacy Biddle. I am a career facilitator at Goodwill Columbus in the Workforce Development Department. You are now signed in and ready to watch how to create your best self on Indeed resume. We here at the Workforce Development Department want to help you become your best self in terms of job search skills, creating your Indeed resume, interviewing tips. Those are the focus. Those are the three focus classes that we're offering these next 2 weeks. So please come join us. We're offering them 3 times a day, one at 10, one at 2, and 6 o'clock. Please look at our event calendar and that'll tell you which classes are offered when, because we are rotating them. Hopefully that one of those times will work for you. So also check out our Facebook page, like it, follow it, share it, do whatever you can to get it out there so we can help so many people find jobs, get them job ready, and help them advance in their career. Also, you can see that we will continue to post current employers who are hiring immediately. Look at our post sections. There's information there that are hiring in the Columbus area. So please take advantage of that. So welcome. I am going to be presenting today in Zoom. And while you are so free and encouraged to list out your questions, your comments in the chat box, I do have a moderator with me, the lovely and talented Valerie Hawes. She is the lead in our department. She is well versed on everything workforce development. So please interact with her while we do this presentation. So I am going to call up these slides so that you can see what I'm talking about. We can get this thing rolling. I hope everyone's having a good evening. It is beautiful outside. Sun is shining. My neighbor's dogs are barking, so hopefully you can't hear them. But let's get this going. All right, so let me do this here. Okay, so how to show your best self with Indeed resume. Build a resume within 5 simple steps. Again, welcome. This workshop is empowered by Indeed. Indeed's mission is to help people get jobs. Indeed is the #1 job site in the world. 3 million companies use Indeed to hire, and there are more than 20 million job listings on this site. These people are experts at getting people jobs. So we have partnered with them, Indeed and Goodwill, and we have a launch page ready to go for you, and I will show you that in a minute. All right, so let's get started. This is the launch page that the partnership between Goodwill and Indeed are using. As you can see, there is a website on the bottom. It says indeed.com/partner/Goodwill. That is where you go to create your account. Gives you a little extra bump. And why do we use this? Well, you need to make a good impression. You need to put your best foot forward. Today, we're going to show you how to do that. We're going to go through 5 simple steps to create that resume on Indeed, okay? And there are immediate benefits from having the resume on Indeed. So let's go through those benefits. Your resume looks great for one. They have redone it so that you can download it in a PDF format, and it looks so professional, and it's wonderful. It is a great tool. You can download it. You can have it on the Indeed website. You can set it to public or private. We'll go over all that and what that means. It also is, if you're going to have an Indeed resume, or excuse me, a resume on Indeed, it's super easy to apply for jobs. We're going to go through that. It allows employers to discover you, to search for you. If you allow your resume to be private, again, we will go through that. So this is basically a training on how to do that. There will be places where there's going to be slides that say, this is your turn. Being that this is a live session, we're going to just keep going through it. So if you do indeed watch this as a video playback, just simply pause during that slide and go ahead and enter the information in the section that we went over. That way you can do it a chunk at a time and it's not overwhelming. All right, so let's do this. So first you have to create an account if you don't already have an account on Indeed. And this is what that particular screen would look like. you can sign in with Google, you can sign in with Facebook, or you can sign in with an email address. And you just enter your information in there and you create your account. This is how we get started to apply for jobs and get discovered by employers. All right, so if you do have an Indeed account, you can go ahead and use your email address and your password to sign in. And then once you've created your account, you can upload your resume or you can create your resume. We're going to teach you how to build it on Indeed, because that's going to help you kind of give you some tips and tricks as to make it the best resume you can make it. Give some great language on it that will really catch employers' attention. All right, so once you go to this part, you're creating your account, it's going to ask you to confirm it. All right, so you'll get a pop-up that'll say, as you can see on your screen, that there is an action needed. You need to confirm your email address on Indeed. You just click that button right there. It'll take you to, confirm your email. It will send you a link. You go open your email. You click on the link that Indeed sent you. It will then bring you back and then you will be signed in. So when you're signed in, if your email appears on the upper right-hand corner of the Indeed website, that means that you are signed into your account. Otherwise, it would say just sign in. All right, so that is how you know you are in. So let's get started with our 5 steps to build your resume. So again, thank you for coming. My name is Stacy Biddle, even though it says Jennifer Carey. Sorry about that. I'm using her Zoom account. I forgot to change my name. So we are here to help you. Valerie Hawes is in the chat session, moderating the session, answer any questions and comments that you have. Please feel free to post any questions and comments, and she will definitely interact in real time with you. She is with us right now. Glad to have you here, Valerie. Okay, so writing a resume, man, does it take time? And if you've had one before, you know it takes a lot of work. So we're going to try to simplify that work, give you some tips and tricks to help you do that. If you have written a resume before, you know that there's a little bit of creativity, individuality you can put into it, but you have to have these 5 essential steps, these 5 elements right here in your resume. You have to have them. Don't go without them. This is what employers look for. All right, you have to have your contact information, and we'll go through each one of these in the following slides. So your contact information is your full name, your city, your email address, phone number, all of that good stuff. You need your relevant education and certifications. You need relevant work and volunteer experience, skills, level of mastery, and finally your summary. Also, as you can see on this slide, that Indeed does provide sample resumes, and that's really good to look at, that website right there, because maybe you're not really sure about how to word some things that might be a good language to use for the industry that you're applying to. Please check out those sample resumes to have that guidance to get you kind of where you need to be. All right, the first is the contact information. So when you're building a resume on Indeed, it will take you through these steps. All right, and then the first one is your contact information. So what this is, you need to put your name, first name, your last name, and here's where it comes to your address. Please just put the city and state. All right, that is some sensitive information. You do not need to put your street address on there. You got to be careful who you share your information with. So really, city and state, all you need. That's all you need. Because also sometimes they might have a little bias towards your address. They might look at the address and say, wow, you live where? How far outside of Columbus? You may not want to travel or commute that far. And sometimes they do look at that, unfortunately, even though you're willing to commute 45 minutes to your job, maybe they might take that into account and might not, kind of put your resume to the side. And that does happen. So let's not have that happen. Just put your city and state. And even they advise, if you want, to work in Columbus, but you kind of live outside, put Columbus, Ohio. Put where you want to work. There's no problem in that. All right. So you are good to go there. So just be careful about your sensitive information that you will provide on your resume. All right. Now this is where we're going to talk about public and private information. I do want to go back real quick. I forgot to talk a little bit about email. Definitely include your email, but man, make it a professional email. Okay, so I have an email. It's stacy.biddle@gmail.com. Boom, there you go. Professional, has my name. It has a good, you're using Gmail instead of Hotmail, which is really kind of outdated. It doesn't say, I love dogs, at Hotmail. No, not professional. Try to use your name and you are good. Don't put like your birthday in it, like the year of your birth. Nah, they don't need to know that either. All right, so let's go to the public versus private. This is what you're going to do. They're going to ask, Indeed is going to ask you whether or not you want employers to search for you or not. And that's your choice. If you put it on public, your personal information won't be shown, but your resume will be searchable by employers. Okay, Indeed, or employers do search this Indeed website for potential candidates. And if you want your name out there and you want to be searchable, bam, put it to public. You're good to go. All right. If you want to set it to private, that's fine too. If you don't want to be searched and you just want to do the searching yourself, that's your choice. Put it to private. Your resume will still be on Indeed. And when you apply to jobs working with Indeed, your resume is ready to go. It's still there. It's still created. You can still use it. It's just private only to you. All right, so this next slide is where if you were watching a video playback and you really want to chunk this out to build your resume, not be so overwhelmed, this is the part where you would pause it and go ahead and enter that basic information. At any time, we're here to help. We are the Workforce Development Department of Goodwill Columbus, and we have career facilitators, we have career counselors. That's what we do. We try to help you find jobs. All right, so use us. You can send us a message. You can send us a message on Facebook, an email, a text, a phone number, or a phone call. All of that information is in the About section of this Facebook page. So please reach out. All right, now let's talk about education. The next step you will add will be your education. The importance of your educational background will vary based on your job or the industry that you're in. If you haven't completed your degree, you can put dates attended. That is totally fine. And the courses that you took. You can also, there's no need to put the year you graduated. You don't need to put that. And you also don't need to put your GPA unless the job description tells you to. All right, but otherwise you can just leave that off. That would be just fine. All right. Also in the education sections, depending on the job that you're looking for, it may ask for certifications or licensure. And then this is where you would put that in. So you just simply press that, little add symbol, and then it'll guide you with how to enter that information, and that will be populated on your resume. This would be another time where you would pause, if you're watching video playback, pause the presentation to go ahead and enter that education. It might take a little time depending on how much you have or how many certifications and licensures you have. So go ahead and do that. Again, there is a moderator, Ms. Valerie Hawes. She will help you out right now if you have any questions or comments about anything that I have gone over so far or about job searching in general. Okay, the next will be adding your work experience. It's not necessarily to include everything you did in your past jobs. Definitely focus on your achievements and your career highlights over your responsibilities. All right, this next slide, I'm going to take some time on this one because this one is definitely something when you're building up your experience, come back, bring this slide up and use this information. All right, so you want to present your experience clearly and confidently. This is key. All right, this is key for this section. These are some tips that will help you do that. It'll make you shine. It'll make you shine to these employers. You got to have a way to make yourself stand out following this, this instructional video here. This will help you so much. Don't use overused phrases or words that have become so overused they've lost meaning. Again, you want to stand out. So try to not use business jargon. Like for example, I have some here: bottom line, synergy, wheelhouse, things like that, or phrases of self-promotion like you're a go-getter, or you're a go-to person. Those are kind of overused. And the sun is like shifting on me right now, so I'll scooch over a little bit. So please make sure that you don't do that. So when employers read your resume, they're looking for any clues of what type of employee that you will be. So show them your best qualities. Man, if you're organized, show it on that resume, right? If the ideas flow naturally across the page of the resume and information categories are meaningful, it speaks volumes about who you are and what you can offer to that employer. Show your grit and tenacity. Employers want to know that you'll stick around when times get tough. Talk about some tough times. Yeah, I think we're living in some, but we're here to help. All right, highlight percentage increases or decreases. Like, you know, in your previous position, maybe you help productivity increase 50%. I don't know, I just made that up. So percentages are really, really, really great in resumes. Let's see what else I can give you here. Oh my goodness, proofread, please, please proofread. Spelling errors, grammatical mistakes is like an instant putting that resume aside. Like if you can't proofread your resume when you're trying to get a job, that is a huge no-no for employers. So please proofread it. Sometimes just reading it from the bottom up, like backwards, that'll help you catch some mistakes, or ask a friend, a mentor, someone from Goodwill to help you proofread it. We can do that too. Always an extra eye is a good thing to have when you are creating, you know, your best resume. All right. So include all your positions. You know, if you've been at a job for a long time, a long tenure is great, but make sure that, you know, include all your positions, because you definitely want to show like an upward progression in your employment. That's great, man. You grew, you stick around and you grew. You got more responsibilities. You know, that company that you were with, they really were impressed with you and they worked with you, you worked with them, and you were a great employee. So show that, show all the different roles that you had. And then, you know, you want to show that you're motivated. You want to show that you're resourceful and you are taking initiative. Action verbs. There are a bunch of action verbs right there. Use them. Use them in your resume. Quantify your accomplishments. This is about showing what you've done rather than telling them what you've done, okay? Use strong action verbs like spearheaded, exceeded, drove, things like that. All right, so like a simple sentence like I have here: held weekly status meetings to share process updates. Yeah, okay, cool. But listen to this. Spearheaded weekly status meetings to communicate efficiency gains. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. That's way better. So this would be a time again to pause and go ahead and work on that work experience section. Presenting your best self. Again, also, like you can see right here, we have a survey. We are just starting this, and we're just starting this, and we really want your feedback. You know, what are some other things that we can bring to you? How can we do this better? I know we're getting over a little bit of bumps, like you forgot to change my name on my Zoom account here. So we're working to get better. We would love your feedback. Please provide it to us. This is all for you. This is all for you, the job seeker. We want to be here to help. We want to make this the best experience that it can be. All right, explaining gaps in employment. All right, so, you know, this might be confusing or you're unsure how to do that. On this slide has some great examples on how you can do that. You know, maybe you left to be a caretaker, or maybe you were laid off, or maybe you were fired, or maybe you took some personal time off for these reasons. Go ahead. If this is you and this applies to you, go ahead and, you know, pause this particular slide and just get to know and love some of those ways to explain those gaps of employment. Because here, this is such an interesting thing. You're not alone. If this is you, you're not alone in this. If you have gaps in your employment, according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, the vast majority of people, and it says 90% of working age people have a gap in their employment. I know, right? So they're common, right? And right now, a lot of times people are taking contracting jobs, you know, that contract, they'll have a contract that ends at a certain time and then they didn't get another contract until a couple months later. You know, that's something that you can explain. And here's some other ways of how to explain it. And then again, having a gap on your resume won't necessarily prevent you from moving successfully through the interviewing process. You just need to know and be prepared to explain that, because employers are going to want to know, you know, and you need to have a great explanation. So here's some other tips. So take the time beforehand to work out, you know, how to address it, okay, in a way that projects confidence and positivity. And remember, you have to be honest. You got to be genuine, man. If you're not being honest and genuine on your resume and in your interview, it's not a good thing. They'll see right through it, okay? So make sure you do that. So for example, you know, be honest on how you use that time. For example, I mention anything you read to keep up on the industry, how you stayed in touch with colleagues, or what you've done to prepare for your re-entry. Also bring up any freelance work, volunteer, community service work, classes or events you attended, and then any other way you've advanced your professional skills. So the goal is to convey that you've been fully engaged, even though you haven't been formally employed. All right, all good. All right, this skills section indeed is absolutely awesome. So what you can do here is design to highlight the skills that you have. So what you would do then is just enter your skills and then it will populate on your resume. So you would just click on the little plus button and then it will expand the information and you can select for the skills that they have listed. Another wonderful, wonderful thing that Indeed has created is called Indeed Assessments. And these are just little assessments, I think 5 to 10 minutes, that will assess your skill level on various different things. They're, let's see, it has things like administration, customer service, technology, and sales. So for example, maybe you're looking for an administrative assistant position or something like that type of office work. They have, you know, an assessment on Microsoft Office or Microsoft Word. And you take that assessment, take the time to take the assessment, and then it'll say, hey, you are an expert. Bam, put that on your resume. You do have the option, no matter what your, you know, how you are assessed, and how it measures you to be, whether you're an expert or a novice or whatever, you do have the option to make that public on your resume or not. So if it comes back a little lower than what you thought it was going to be, you don't have to put it out there at all, okay? So you do have that option, and that is really good. So take as many skills assessments as you can, publish which ones you'll want, and let employers know how truly great you are. Oh, we do have some statistics about since the skills assessments have been implemented on Indeed. It says Indeed has found that candidates who have completed a test on the platform are 30% more likely to get positive response for employers. Right? And employers who use the assessments have seen a 27% reduction in time to hire. So that's some incentive. You know, anything to get your leg up, your foot in the door, do it. Take the initiative, get it done. And again, you can hide those results at any time or publish them. So this would be the part where you can go check out that skills section. You can add the skills that you have, or you can take the time to take the skills assessment and then add those to your now almost amazing resume. We're almost done, almost done. The next one is summary. Okay, so finally we got to add a summary, and sometimes this is it's called a profile statement. No matter what the name is, the purpose is the same. You want to give the employers a quick idea of who you are and what you can do. All right, why do they need to hire you? Well, here it is in your summary. Bam. Okay. This makes the summary, you want to show them that you are the right person for the job. All right, so what is a summary and how can we do that? So a summary is a concise overview of your qualifications for the job. Think of it as like a condensed cover letter. So it's one of the first things that the employers will look at. They're going to look at your summary first, and that will be what makes them want to read on. All right, so it should highlight your key accomplishments or skills that are most applicable to the job so that it grabs the employer's attention. So anyone can use this, no matter if you are a seasoned professional or you're just now getting in the job market or you don't have a whole lot of job experience, doesn't matter. All right, everyone needs to have this. Everyone should be able to have this and develop a great one on your resume. And we are going to show you how. So on this slide, it'll show you like the formula, the basic formula. And then on the next slide, it'll show an example. So for a seasoned professional, that's the one on the top. You would need to start with an adjective to describe yourself, follow it with your years of experience in a field, and then include your key accomplishments. And then the one that follows that would be someone with limited job experience. Again, use an adjective to describe yourself, follow it with your current status and your unique qualifications for the role, and then your strongest professional skills. All right, so this next slide will be some examples. So the example for perhaps a seasoned professional is the first one. It reads, dedicated warehouse worker with 7+ years experience in the shipping department. Responsibilities include customer service, picking and preparing items for shipment, assisting with receiving shipments, and maintaining a clear work environment. Yeah, sounds good, right? Follow the model that was on the previous page. All right, someone with limited job experience, high energy, bilingual nursing student, seeking to develop more extensive experience working with elderly patients. Proven leadership capabilities, likes to take initiative, and seeks out new challenges. That's good stuff. Good stuff. You need good stuff. That would catch my eye if I was an employer, for sure. So this would be your turn to stop. You know, we really want you to kind of chunk out this information, not to be overwhelming, just do one section at a time. So now take the advice, you can rewind, get that formula back up here, and then go to your Indeed page and create a great summary. All right. That's your 5 steps. That's it. So now you'd see this screen, review your resume, welcome to the online resume, and then you would just click review resume. It'll ask you if you'd like to download it. Yes, of course you want to download it because you want to see it. Indeed gives you a couple of different templates as well to choose from if you wanted to print it out. I mean, that is huge. That is awesome. So you just click on it. It would be a PDF file that you can open on your computer, and it's already formatted for you, which is great. And it's formatted in a way that follows the best practice on how to build a resume. So like it has great use of white space, it's black modern font, and it's a PDF so no one else can change your info. Don't want that. All right, and so please know that creating your best resume takes time, and it takes energy, and it takes your best work. But honestly, that's how you're going to get a job. You know, you got to put your best self out there, and it does take time. It does take work. And if you go through this workshop again, pause on these slides and follow this advice, you're good. That's your best self right there. If you need any other additional assistance, reach out to us. We're here. All right. You found our page. Now you got us. All right. So some other things that are some helpful hints on using Indeed is that we do encourage you to go back to your resume after all of this and just make sure that you are editing and filling in your information. But editing doesn't just keep it fresh, because that resumes that are recently updated, this is key. Resumes that are recently updated are on Indeed are pushed to the top of the resume search. So they advise that the strategy would be just tweak something once a month so that you're constantly being pushed to the top of that search. All right, as crazy as that sounds, it's a strategy. right? And that's how it can be. If you recently updated your resume, it will push it to the top of the employer search on Indeed. So just a small tweak and you got it. All right. Well, how about that? Thank you so much. That was a ton of information. That was a lot of information, but it was really set on best practices on how to build your best resume and your best self on Indeed. Please reach out to us. Use our partner landing site, which is right there, www.indeed partner/goodwill. I'm going to stop sharing right now and say thank you again. Thank you to Ms. Valerie for helping me moderate this evening. I had a great time tonight. Get out, enjoy the sunshine, social distancing, of course, and keeping yourself safe. Please, again, fill out the survey, which I am sure is in our chat feature with the link to give us feedback. We totally would appreciate that. And again, reach out to us in our About section on this page. Of course, that we ask you to share, like, follow, all that good stuff. We do have our email. We have our phone number. You can text or call and leave a voicemail. And then or send us a messenger on Facebook. So goodbye. I'm Stacy Biddle, Goodwill Columbus Workforce Development Department. Thank you for coming. Have a great evening.